Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fireside Chat this evening. And I hope you're all well wherever you are in the world. My name's Tara, and joining me on Fireside Chat this evening, I've got two guests with me. I've got Herman, who I'm sure a lot of you have been itching to see, and some have even been saying, is Herman still around? So we thought we'd drag him on Fireside Chat.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
I've also got a very special guest from Vuyatela. This is Eugene from Vuyatela.
Nice to meet you.
I just need to ask you, what is your role at Vuyatela? What everybody would like to know, first of all, and then we can get into a few other bits and pieces.
No problem. I'm the assistant lodge manager. My job is actually to make my lodge manager's job much easier, making changes and making improvements and just making sure that the guests that comes and visit us from all over the world just have an incredible stay with us.
Oh,
that's my job.
Now, how long have you been doing this for?
Well, with Vuyatela, I've been now for the last 3 months, which has been an incredible 3 months. Just absolutely incredible sightings and experience. But in the hospitality industry, I've been for over 12 years, which I also studied hotel and restaurant management. I'm also currently doing some more courses and those things to improve myself. But yeah, it changes. I've traveled across the world to do this.
I was going to say, because we've got a lot of viewers. We were just saying we've got a lot of viewers from the US, and you spent some time over there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. In Miami, Florida. I was in Delray Beach, and it was just an incredible opportunity, just seeing the American football games, seeing the Miami Heats playing, and going to Orlando, the Disney World, and monster trucks, which was a very interesting experience.
Sure. What's that exactly?
It is very big cars trying to destroy each other. So that's exactly what it is. But like I said, it was just such a different experience working in one of the hotels in Miami, just comparing to South Africa. And before that, I was in the United Kingdom. So I could actually compare that to the different cultures. And I've traveled to see how the hospitality industry changed to these different continents. Yeah.
And American football is different to
rugby.
Very much. Please explain to me how it's possible that you can pass a ball forward and it's fine.
Well, do you know what? Now, I was very fortunate, and I must clear this up. The Americans are sport fanatics, and I was very fortunate to go and watch the Miami Dolphins playing, and we had these incredible Americans sitting behind us, and as the game was happening, they were actually explaining to us all the rules because we had no idea what was going on.
You can explain it to me afterwards.
I can actually explain it. All I know that the most important thing is you have to look at the knots and crosses. The knots on that side and the cross on that side, and they have to move 10 yards in a certain time period. So it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit, I think rugby rules is just easier. I think I'm going to stick with South African sport.
As well,
actually, am I going to divide you two now? Because what's your team?
My team is Stormers, and
we're the same team, but we're not talking about the Stormers.
We are Cape Town boys, and no, do you know what? We stick with our team.
I will stick
win
with
or
the team,
lose, we stick
I
with
don't
our
want to
team.
talk any more rugby for tonight.
Sure, you were looking very bleak.
I wasn't a happy man last night.
Yeah, that's one thing I've definitely learnt to get into, I must admit. I'm still getting there. I did watch a live game over in Australia with New Zealand and Australia,
Yeah.
so I actually did enjoy it, but I've watched 1 or 2 games. I have watched England versus South Africa, but I've yet to get into the normal games.
Well, don't worry.
Who do you support if you watch England
Yes,
versus
I
South
just
Africa?
wanted to know that
You've
now.
been here for a while now.
Yeah, I'm very divided. I'm a true Soti. I am sorry.
Okay.
I support both.
So
I
we
am a true
decided
Soti.
we're just going to speak Afrikaans the rest of the show. So Herman, hoe gaan dit met jou vanaand?
Nee, dit gaan goed, Eugene. So, hoe is jou dag vandag?
Baie lekker. But just to show you that we will stay true to South Africa.
We've even got a fire ready. Afterwards, we're going to have, in the true South African spirit, going to have a little braai. And myself and Daniel has made some potato salad. So and braaibroodjies, which is basically just toast on the fire, which I'm really looking forward to.
Well, the secret to a perfect braaibroodjie,
You
which
made some very nice ones the other day, I must admit.
I must admit, but do you know what? We've got my lodge manager, Nikki makes the most amazing braaibroodjies. I think my braaibroodjies is nothing compared to Nikki's, but because you've got potato salad, I'm staying for dinner.
Okay, for sure. That's a deal.
Oh, that's fantastic. How actually are you finding living and working in the same place, day in, day out? Because obviously in the US and in the UK and other hotels, you actually have access to
Civilization.
towns. Civilization. Yes, that's what it's called.
I must be honest with you. I do miss my fast food like McDonald's, and the Americans would know if I mean Burger King. I miss that. But do you know what? The day in and day out, it is such an incredible vibe at Vuyatela, and the staff is just remarkable. They are friendly, they are outgoing, everybody just gets along so well, and they interconnect. And because it's like having another family. I'm from Cape Town, and having this extra family here just makes it so much easier to be here and to be in the middle of nowhere. And I take, for instance, we look after each other. My chef, Jace, if I'm sick, she makes me her homemade recipes. And if I'm in the mood for my favorite chocolate brownies, the chefs make it. And it is just all about family. And currently our staff's family are visiting them at the moment, their kids, because it's school holiday at the moment. And I can just see how the vibe and the atmosphere at the lodge is just so incredible. And what the guests at the moment don't know that is staying with us is that the staff's kids are planning a little concert tomorrow night at Vuyatela's lodge while the guests are having dinner.
That's
It's just something we try to interact and make their kids involved with the parents' working days and give the parents also opportunity to make their kids involved with what they are doing and how they're doing it. So it's all about family and it's all about vibe, and Vuyatela has just got the most incredible vibe.
Yeah, it does. I must admit, whenever we come down for dinner, we always really enjoy it, and
it's just
so friendly. And
I'm a hospitality specialist, and my main job is to train people and to make service better. But at Vuyatela, the service is already just incredible. There's a few things we can change, but with the staff's atmosphere and attitude and those things,
I think it's the main thing.
It is the main thing, and it just brings more people and more people.
And I must have, these guys are neighbours to us. I mean, you've met Jess and a few other people as well. And I must say, we had quite a funny story trying to get to civilization.
See, Jess and myself are only allowed separately on the radio and on the camera. We will never be allowed on the same.
Maybe one day.
Well, if one of us got...
You can do the commentating and she can do the cooking. How does that sound?
It's not going to work. But I love Jess. You guys have to come out and just try this Jess, our chef. She's the head chef at Vuyatela. Her cooking is just out of the world. And I can actually say that I've traveled to Turkey, I've traveled to Switzerland, I've traveled to London, I've traveled to the US. Her cooking is just, it's home cooking, professional presentation. I've worked with a lot of chefs, and I have to be honest,
she's good, hey?
She's good. And all our guests that leaves normally has to buy bigger pants because they were actually eating so much.
And there's a gym there.
There is. And do you know what? Actually, and people can test me, they can go on TripAdvisor and type in Vuyatela Djuma. And there's a guest that actually said that a week ago that she had to buy new pants on TripAdvisor because of Jess's food.
We actually had Jess for a couple of shows in the past, and she made some, I think the one day she made some really nice butternut soup.
Yes, it
was
delicious.
Curry,
Sorry,
butternut curry,
curry
soup. And we also, I think we made a poikie as well one day.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
which was quite cool. Yeah, we'll definitely try and get Jess on Fireside Chat again.
We have to.
Definitely.
And hopefully all of you can cook along.
I'll be the commentator, she can cook. But also just to let all the viewers know that Djuma is going on under a lot of construction at the moment. We are changing the painting and just making the lodge more homey and just giving it a little bit more of a homey feel. And
you're definitely getting your teeth into it, hey?
It's part of the job. It is part of the job,
Definitely.
making changes and those things. And a lot of people always say changes isn't good. But with Vuyatela, it is just growing and growing. And it's just such an incredible lodge. And
what would you normally do on a day-to-day basis then? What would an assistant lodge manager actually do out here?
Do you know what? An assistant lodge manager do out here is pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Checking. My main job is my staff. The engine of any perfect establishment is the staff, the people that works there. It's not the management. It's not myself. It's not Nikki, the lodge manager. Well, the general manager. It's not Jess, the cook. It is literally the people that works with us, making sure that everything just connects. And and my job is pretty much just to see that they have everything they need, that they've got everything that they to do their job, and that's it's sometimes very demanding, because instead of just worrying about what I have to do for one guest, I have to worry about 35 people, because that's how many people work at Vuyatela. You have to make sure that 35 people are happy at the same time, so that they can look after your guest that stays there. And I've learned something from the Americans will know, the Marriott Hotel Group, Bill Marriott, that always said that if you want to see a happy guest, you have to make sure you've got a happy staff member, and it's such a wow factor for me that it's important. Definitely. And my staff is very important to me.
So just if anybody would like to ask Eugene any questions about his life out here, then all you need to do is send questions through to questions@wildearthsafari.tv. But one question you actually mentioned, yeah, you dropped yourself in it there. You were just saying you've got a funny story about a snake, and I really want to ask you about it. What is the story?
I'm a city boy. I come from the city. I've lived in London. I've lived in Miami, where the bush life has not been that much of my life. I've hunted with my parents, with my dad, and it's different just going to a place for holiday, hunting, and then go back. So when I moved into Vuyatela, for some other odd reason, there was like every day a snake in front of my door, of my bedroom door, and it was the one day it was a pofadder, and the next day it was a spitting cobra.
Oh, so a different snake.
It wasn't the same one. It was different ones, and I just one day decided I'm not going to allow this anymore. And my neighbors is all my rangers. And I was literally just standing one day and decided this is where I cut off this. And I started screaming because I want to see where this cobra is going. And because a cobra is a territorial snake and the puff adder is moving in front there. So I just decided, I'm just going to start screaming. And suddenly I just see staff coming out of the kitchen, staff coming out of reservations, Nikki come out of the office, and Texan, all you hear is me screaming, Texan, Texan. And Texan comes out quite relaxed. What's wrong? Snake, snake. And he comes, it's just a cobra. It's like, it's not just a cobra. Get the cobra out of here. So from that day, if Texan hears me scream, he knows he has to go and fetch the tongs to move a snake.
Oh, sure.
Because, so...
And that's why we're going to ask Texan about the snake story.
You have to ask Texan about the snake story. Texan thinks it's very, very hilarious, but I'm a lodge manager and I'm a city boy. I don't deal with those kind of things.
At least you have some friends on your side to actually help you there.
Well, what concerns me is one of my staff said the other day, if we want to get rid of you, we're going to put snakes in front of your room. And I was like, then I'll just move into a new room.
Oh, fantastic.
No, it's a great experience. It is.
But I was just going to say about living in the bush and say going out and about and getting into society again for a little while. Me and Eugene and a bunch of other people went down to Nelspruit. Now, Nelspruit is probably
Let me tell you this. Can any viewer that's out there that has seen the end of Pirates of the Caribbean, please just tell us what happened at the end of it? Because as Tara said, we drove 3.5 hours to go. 3 hours. Don't over-exaggerate. Okay, sorry.
It was going to be 3 hours there and 3 hours back.
3 hours there, 3 hours back to go and watch the Pirates of the Caribbean, and the power failure of the cinema happened, and we never saw the end. And it was the last
half an hour before the end.
It was a half an hour. Actually, it was at the water. Anybody that knows about the water scene where the water comes, I have no idea what happens.
And we're all left hanging.
Eugene
jumps up and says, "Oh, it's all right. It's only a 10-minute break." That was classic.
Everybody believed me.
Not everybody. Most people did. They're like, okay, cool. It's going to come back.
I was convincing.
Anyway, as I say, because we had to go 3 hours to get to the cinema, and we actually went specifically to go and watch that film, didn't we?
That is what we went for. But we did end up with KFC, so...
Oh, this is also true. One of those things that you kind of miss when you're in the bush.
I went out the other night for dinner. It was an hour's drive, and it was incredible.
Actually, have you had any fantastic sightings?
Oh, Karula is just one of the most incredible sightings at Vuyatela, and it's such a regular sighting. It is, if you look left and if you look right, Karula's there, and don't forget about the cubs. It is. I was actually asking somebody earlier, the cubs are 6 months old, 7 months
About
old?
8 months old.
8
now,
months
yeah,
old.
7.5, 8 months.
How do you guys decide about changing names and deciding on a name? And
Well, we're still waiting for the guides of Sabi Sands to actually decide on a name. It's usually around a year or so, but we're hoping that we can get them to.
because
name
I
them a
can't
little
wait
bit
to put
earlier.
on the Facebook page of Djuma to say what the new name is. But like I said, very adorable kittens,
Yeah.
if I can put it that way.
On the subject of leopards, the other night with the warthog camera, we actually I saw the next day in the archives one of the leopards actually trying to stalk one of the baby hippos. Did you see that footage?
I didn't see the footage. I heard about the footage, and it was all over Facebook and those things. But I must be honest with you, the baby hippo is just amazing. It is, at this moment...
You saw it being born, didn't you?
We
Yes.
did. It was
What's it called? Storm.
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 Yeah, everyone's deciding on Storm.
beautiful name, but I must be honest with you, it was quite an amazing sighting. It was something... I think it's because I saw Storm being born that I actually felt like... every day I look at the
Almost have association
yeah,
with it.
I actually make a point of it, looking at the dam every day to just go and see if the hippo baby is fine. And do you know what? When I started working here, there were 4 hippos in the dam. We actually are now at 9 hippos.
The other day there was, I
We
think,
had
13.
13
hippos in the dam.
And we had 9. And this afternoon, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys this. This afternoon I was busy checking in guests, and the lodge is full at the moment. And I was checking in his guest, and as we were walking to their bedroom at bedroom number 1, which is one of our best bedrooms to stay in, on the deck you can see all the hippos lying. And as I walked them to their room to see the hippos, an elephant literally came at the same time, and they go like, "Is the elephant on your payroll to come and greet each guest?" And I was like, "No." But then we stood literally for half an hour just looking at this elephant, and you can see the hippos were so uncomfortable with this elephant here, trying to figure out, are you staying, are you going? It's just an amazing sighting. I think the owner Yuri Moorman can be very proud of Vuyatela. It is such a perfect location
Absolutely.
for a lodge.
And actually, at the moment, a lot of people can share that by watching the Woodall camera.
Yeah.
Djuma Woodall camera.
Definitely.
Which is the new camera.
I was-
finally.
Up and running.
Then it reminds me of the storm again.
For sure, yes.
Yeah.
That was actually in the first week that I was here, and I was actually that night underneath my bed because it was such a horrible
It
storm.
was a big one, eh?
It was. I was getting quite worried, and I'm glad I wasn't down here by myself. I think I probably really would have
I was
been
actually,
happy.
I must be honest, we were very, very lucky. We had no damages.
Yeah,
no
remember you
damages
guys
on the
cutting
lodge.
up
We
a
had-
few trees that had fallen
We
over,
had a
didn't
few
you?
trees
Yeah.
falling over, but we had no physical structural damages. We actually felt very sorry for our neighbor lodges, which did have structural damages and those things. And it's not nice having those kind of things, but it's nature.
The one tree that fell over was the tree that we were going to put this camera in. And we only put the light up, and Peter Brott was here to do the whole installation. And it was so funny. We were all up at the house in bed. And the next moment we hear someone knocking on the door. And it's Peter Brott, and he seems very excited. And we're like, what's going on? He's like, no, he just went down because just after the storm. It was only about, half an hour, 45 minutes
I think
of
it
the
was
storm.
like 9 o'clock. I think it.
Yeah, it
finished,
quickly
something
happened,
like
and
that.
he went down just to check if everything was still fine with the tree that we were going to put the camera in the next morning. And he said he got there and he was looking around and he just couldn't. He was disorientated. He didn't know what was going on. And the next morning he realized this whole tree, which is a massive. What tree is it? I'm not sure. What,
I don't know actually. I
but
forgot
the
to
whole
have a
tree
look.
fell over, which we were going to put the camera in. But luckily we only did it. We didn't do it that day, so it was only for the next day. So we only lost the light in the process.
Next day it ended up 3 weeks later.
Well, we got it there, and then we had to move the wires.
Yeah, we had to redig trenches.
It sounds
Some
it sounds
technical
easier than it
problems.
is. No, we had some problems with digging trenches because obviously we laid the trench with the cable in towards this tree, and now the tree wasn't there anymore. So we had to reroute the cable to another destination where we set up the camera where all of you are or can watch the Djuma Waterhole.
And I think it's actually working out quite nicely as well. If anyone hasn't checked it, then definitely try it out. The Djuma Waterhole channel, actually on the channel page.
I was actually laughing the other day. I was watching it, and for the first time I was watching it, I saw one of my staff members busy cleaning something, and there's photo footages loaded on our Facebook page with him busy. I was like,
At least they're doing their job.
I was thinking that, and I thought,
Should get a raise.
but he doesn't belong there. At least it captures everything.
Well, yes, it definitely does.
No,
Definitely.
I would never forget that storm day, because it was literally the day of the election in South Africa,
Yeah.
and all our staff want to go and vote, and I was saying to them, you all can go and vote, and I'll send you all to go and vote, but first clean the lodge.
Yeah.
And everybody, and we had guests checking in,
Oh,
and
yes, you did. Yeah.
we had people from the States checking in, and it was a full lodge, and you just see everybody running around, and then the first batch went to go and vote, and then the next comes back, and as they back, they cleaning. It was just actually showing me how connected the staff is there, and how well they work when a storm
under
strikes.
pressure, yeah,
Definitely,
when a
hey.
storm
There was
strikes,
a
yeah.
big mess there. I was very impressed because I think they checked in 12, 1 o'clock,
Yeah.
and it was all pretty much tidied up by
It
then.
was, yeah, it
Incredible.
was a very interesting day.
So what made you decide to come and work in the bush? I mean, if you're a city boy and you've worked out in the lodge, in the hotels and things like that all over the world, what made you come back and decide to go, right, I'm going to go into the bush? now?
I've worked for a previous lodge, one of the neighboring lodge not far away from here, which was an incredible opportunity, and it was by accident. One of their staff members went also in labor, and they needed somebody to replace her, but at that time I already had a signed contract with the States, and I was already on my way, and I said to them, I have to go to the States in 3 months' time so I can help you out. And do you know what, when I was working there, I just realized that I love the nature. That is something that's within us. That is something that is within each and every South African. And
But we easily connect with.
we easily connect with Africa and with our roots. And I take, for instance, I've traveled so far and so many places, and I've seen so much incredible places. But yeah, my heart just beats just that extra faster. That it just calls me every day. It's not a job. It's literally just a passion. It is what I love doing. And I actually got here the day for my interview, and when I met Nikki and Jess and Nick and the whole entire team, it was just love at first sight, and everything just connected, the communication, the interaction, and it just felt right. And
I think you were doing quite a marathon as well, because I met you that night, didn't I? And I'm like, what? Where were you going back to? Was it Johannesburg or was it Cape Town?
back to Joburg.
It was back, okay.
I actually were on a flight with Kalula from Cape Town to Joburg, and then I would have rented a car from Joburg to here to come and do the interview and those things. But what actually happened is my plane was cancelled, so I had to catch a flight, rent a car from Cape Town, pack up all my stuff, drive from Cape Town to Joburg, got to Joburg, slept, drove here. Now for the viewers, from Cape Town to Joburg, it's about an 18-hour drive if you drive slowly and within permitted the law. And then from Johannesburg to here is another 6 hours, 5-6 hours drive. So I got here and did the interview, and the next day I got back in the car to drive to the city to go and buy all the stuff I need, because I needed to come and see what is here and what is not. And then went back for a day, and then packed up again at Joburg and came back. So I didn't want to see a car for a very long time. I was actually fine just being in the bush. Yeah, that was actually just... It was a horrible marathon.
Yeah, I do remember. I felt sorry for you when I spoke to you that night.
I was exhausted. And I'd worked that night.
Yeah, you did. You were
Actually,
hosting
now
that
thinking
night.
about it as well, I was hosting.
Yeah, you were.
I started working. I wasn't actually shy starting.
You were.
I didn't have a choice. I had to start working.
So what have you found has been the best thing about living in the bush then?
Do you know what? I think actually I should be starting paying Vuyatela to start working here and those things, because it's just seeing the big five, just seeing these animals, these incredible... I've watched Lion King when I was younger, and it's one of my ultimate favorite movies, and just seeing how these animals are growing up and how they interact. And like I said, the hippo storm is just one of my favorites. That's my favorite. It is just incredible. Almost all our guests, just wants to stay that extra day, that extra... I many times joke and say, I'll cancel your flight, you can just stay here forever. and those things. It's just magical. It is just... I can understand why it's called a magic kingdom. It is just really... It's calm. Nothing races you. Nothing... It is all about that personal touch, that touch where you just interact with Africa. And Vuyatela just offers that in every sense. I take, for instance, we've got this incredible spa therapist, Patience.
Oh, she is good.
You don't have to tell me. And what she has done now, we went over to this new Africology product, which is, it is nature, it is clean, it's no chemicals, it is absolutely just a remarkable product. And Patience has got this magic hands. I just call it the magic hands because after she has treated or gave you a spa treatment or facial or whatever, you feel 20 years younger. You feel just so incredible. Vuyatela just offers everything. Djuma has got the animals, it's got the wild staff, it's got it's got the luxurious accommodation. It's just everything you just need if you want to come to Africa. It's just everything you need.
I must admit, I like that the mosaics. Pippa, who's Yuri's wife, did a lot of the mosaics around Vuyatela, and I think the promotional video, you should see some of those mosaics there. But definitely, she's got some beautiful
She's
ones
got
there.
very talented, and I was actually laughing. Nick, our maintenance, our operations manager, but he's part of the maintenance group. He had to fix one of our bathrooms the other day, and it was quite hilarious because it had to break one of Pippa's
Oh no! Oh,
mosaic.
Does Pippa know this then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait! I'm getting to the best part. And we were actually contemplating how we can fix it without breaking this mosaicing. And Nick and I were just standing there and looking at this, and we were planning this. And at the end of the day, we broke it, and Nick then did the mosaicing. And when Pippa walked in, the first thing she was like, "Oh, that looks so beautiful!" And I was like,
Really?
and Nick was like, "Shh." and like I said, Yuri and Pippa has the reason why this business has been here for such a long time, over 12 years, and Incredible Lodge, is because they have such a love for their staff and such a love for what they do and their animals and their lodge. You can, when you get here, you can see how happy their staff is because they interact with their staff. They look after their staff, and they've been doing it for years. And it's just incredible people to work for, and they've got a passion for it. And as soon as you work for people that has passion for what they want and what they do, it's not a job anymore. It's just.
Well, I think you've definitely got the passion there. Definitely. As I say, the minute I met you, you were very, very large and very, very big on life. And
Nikki tells me that every day.
It's a pleasure to hear you.
Oh no, definitely. You must see me and Jace together.
Oh, for sure, hey, for sure.
No, it's just nice. It's just an incredible feeling, just having everybody here and just seeing the animals, and especially, like I said, Karula and do I pronounce it correct? Mvula. I saw him the other day.
Oh, did you?
Oh
he's
my
a stunning
word! What
leopard,
a
hey.
I was actually standing
Big boy,
there.
yeah.
And it looks like permanent mascara on that eyes. I was actually looking at it the other day, and for the viewers that doesn't know what we're talking about, on Djuma's Facebook page, you can actually go and see the photos. It looks literally like permanent mascara. It's an incredible.
He's a stunning male leopard, hey, and sometimes we do get a chance to see him.
Yes, we actually had a Peter Bantman that was here a few.
Oh, I saw the pictures actually. I think there's some pictures up on Karula's Facebook page as
That
well.
is correct. He has got remarkable pictures of the cubs and.
When did he take them?
Last week.
Last week.
It was last week.
ago.
And it is something I must actually tell everybody. Go and do yourself a favor. Look at Peter's photos. It is.
Oh, they're beautiful.
I must be honest with you. It is incredible. He's got actually this one photo where one of the cubs are running and the cub is actually in
midair.
Mid-air.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And it is just really an incredible. I think I actually showed you the picture.
Yeah, you
today.
showed it to me earlier.
I'm actually now thinking about it. And if you look at all his photos on our Facebook, Djuma Private Game Reserve's Facebook page, it is remarkable pictures. Just absolutely beautiful pictures. I must say thank you to Peter. I know he's one of WildEarth describers, so I know hopefully he's watching tonight.
Hopefully so.
Yeah,
keep my fingers crossed.
His pictures are just really incredible pictures.
Well, unfortunately, on that note, Eugene, we're going to have to say goodbye. But thank you so much for joining us.
It was such a
it's been fun
pleasure.
here.
Yeah, definitely, and we
I
must
hope-
do this again.
Yeah, I hope so, hey? And I hope everyone back at home enjoyed seeing a little bit of lodge life with Eugene and understanding a little bit about what lodge life is about down here.
And hopefully we see you soon checking in at Vuyatela one of the days.
Yeah, he's hoping, hey? Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It was nice having you guys.
Soon.
And I want my potato salad now.
Yeah, just hold on a bit. But thank you very much for joining us here on Wild Earth, and hopefully you can join us again tomorrow for our next live safari at 6:30 Central Africa time, where we'll be heading out once again to look for what's out there in the African bush. So do join us then. But for myself and the rest of the crew, take care everyone. Bye for now.